Well, hello there, Capricorn. How are you? It is so good to see you. I'm Mary Sue, and I'm so grateful that you're here. So today we're doing a 3-month reading. So this is good for the spring season. So it's April, May, and June. We'll take a look first at the overall energy with the oracle cards, and then we'll go to the tarot and get more details about each of those 3 months separately. So let's jump into it. Let's see what is on the horizon for you. Whale Spirit, trust the great mystery and watching clouds, lie back, rest, and relax. I love this energy because it really is allowing yourself to kind of give yourself permission if you haven't taken a vacation or, just taken a day off, a mental health day, whatever you want to call it. It's a little bit of allowing yourself to not work quite so hard, allowing yourself to say that, because Capricorn, you are the hard worker of the zodiac, right? You are the hardest worker. You put so much time and energy into your work, but we can get burnt out when we don't allow ourselves to rejuvenate, when we don't allow ourselves to take a little bit of time to rest and relax. And this is, I think, one of the things that you're kind of like allowing yourself to explore. Perhaps both of these are near water. Perhaps allowing yourself to go and sit by water, or perhaps take a vacation to the beach. Even if you're not doing it right away, maybe you're planning it. Here we are at the end of March, but this is through June, allowing yourself to perhaps put something on the calendar that you can look forward to. Understanding that part of the process, part of the great mystery, is understanding that when we're not so busy, when we're not allowing ourselves to work so hard, and we allow ourselves to step into that divine feminine energy of just being, relaxing, right? Being with ourselves, and not being overly busy, even with trying to distract ourselves when we're not working, right? It's kind of like spending hours on social media or binge watching things. It's allowing yourself to just stop all of the mental clutter. There is a little bit of energy here of stopping the mental clutter and listening to your heart. I feel like there's something your heart is really and truly wanting, but it's kind of like you're masking it. We have the justice energy here. This is for April. Allowing yourself to see where some situations in your life or some mindsets, some things are not in balance. It's kind of like allowing yourself to wear this mask and pretend there's a little bit of an illusion, pretending everything is okay, whether that is in a relationship, a situation. For some of you, let's pull a tarot card here. Yes, there's something about masking, okay, about the energy of being on your own. I feel like for some of you, because I'm going to jump to June, you have the Lover's energy. There is something about going from being single and independent into being in a relationship, or wanting to be in a relationship. Even if you don't have anybody on the horizon, right? It's kind of like, I feel like there's a big transition that you're going through during this spring season, of understanding that when you're by yourself, when you're independent, and I think you have worked really hard over that Pluto in Capricorn energy since 2008, right? That was in your first house of identity. And I feel like you've gone through a huge transformation of understanding who you are, but it's almost like you're still masking it. You're still wanting this sense of, I'm only in balance when I'm by myself. Or you're working through some mindsets, some beliefs around love and what love relationships are. It's allowing yourself to say, are you masking? What are you masking? Yeah, I feel like you have the Empress here, the Hierophant. It's kind of like you're allowing yourself to tell the story, okay, is so interesting because there's the story we tell ourselves, right? And then there's another version of the truth. The story we tell ourselves is the story we say in order to help protect ourselves, right? Whether that's through our ego is telling you, I'm good on my own, I don't need anybody else. That I think there's a part of you that says, I would like to be in a relationship, but all relationships lead to heartache and pain, disappointment. It's a little bit because the relationships you have had in the past have been disappointing. But there's something here about allowing yourself to see what it is that you gained for yourself, okay? A mindset, a belief, a stronger sense of courage, whatever it is, something that you've gained during those difficult romantic connections. I feel like this is either romantic connections or family connections, and it could be both. It's almost like you have a mindset around it, a belief around relationships, family relationships, romantic relationships, your role that you play in those types of relationships. And for some reason or another, you have decided, no, I'm better on my own. But it's not, here's the thing. It's kind of like that may be what you say to other people, or maybe even what you're telling yourself. There's something that when you allow yourself, because both of these have water in it, and water is our emotions, right? When you allow yourself to tap into the emotions of relationships and perhaps what it is that you want from relationships, right? It's kind of like allowing yourself to see what is truly holding you back, because there's something in April, I think you're becoming more aware of the story that you're telling yourself that may not necessarily be true. We have a new moon in Aries coming up later this week. We're still in that energy of, that's also a solar eclipse. We have so much energy that's moving from Pisces into Aries over this spring time. And it's almost like you're allowing yourself to take a look at the illusions that you have around either your independence and how you may have to give up your independence in some way in order to be in a relationship. Right? So it's kind of like, I don't want to be in a relationship. There's part of you. I think part of you really wants to be in a relationship. And there's this other part of you that says, no, when I'm in a relationship, I lose my independence, right? I'm tied. Here you are, the Empress and the Hierophant. Then I'm tied to expectations, right, of other people or what they may want from me, or they're toxic or whatever story, right? Three of Swords. Difficult energy. This is you allowing yourself to see that. I feel like for some of you, if you have been single for a while, right, you may even be comfortable with being single now, but it's this energy that's coming up within you. It's spring season, right? The weather's getting warmer. You're almost like getting spring fever. I would call it that, spring fever. You're wanting to have deeper relationships, deeper, right? The whale goes deep into the ocean. You're no longer wanting the superficial, okay? A kind of like, I can hide. I don't have to really tell the whole truth. Superficial relationships. You're understanding that maybe you have allowed yourself to protect yourself so much that all your relationships are kind of like superficial. And you're allowing yourself to say, I want to go deeper. I want to have deeper relationships. Because in May, that's exactly what you're doing. You're allowing yourself to see clearly what it is that you want down the line. Not just in the spring, but it's kind of like, because we're starting a new solar year, Pluto is in Aquarius, there's so much energy changing in 2025. It's like allowing yourself to say, what do I want 10 years from now? Do I still want to be single? Do I still want to protect my independence so much that I'm not allowing myself, I'm hiding myself, I'm not allowing myself to step into relationships, deep relationships. For some of you, you could have been really concentrating on your career since 2008, or especially I'm going to say the last 8 to 11 years, because we have the number 38 there. We have the 3 a lot too. Allowing yourself to recognize, have I prioritized something else in my life in order to kind of like bring myself into an energy of being independently balanced, right? And not relying on other people. That's great, right? That's a great energy to have. I feel like you had to perhaps go through that, but now you're also recognizing that by putting your focus on your career or your finances, you also were holding yourself back from having deeper relationships. And once again, it could be that you were in a position, because we have the 3 of Swords here, right? In a position where you had to work on your independence. Now this is an energy of understanding you're transitioning. This is very much a transition of, okay, yes, I enjoyed my independence. I enjoyed what this time in my life brought me. A sense of courage, perseverance, resilience, knowing that I can do it on my own. It's just that you're recognizing I no longer want to do it on my own. And I'm recognizing that I have to take some action. I have to change up, all right? This is yang energy. I have to take action. I have to change some of my priorities. I have to allow myself to see how I have been holding myself back in the area of relationships, and allow myself to be honest with myself. Take the mask off and be honest with yourself about what is holding you back, and then facing your fears, okay? Because this is June. Facing your fears around love and relationships. Your ascended masters, right? Your ancestors are coming in here. They're trying to help you through this transition, allowing you to see how you may have been holding yourself back by holding on to, you have the 3 of Cups. This is kind of like allowing yourself to stay friends with people that are third parties. Okay. So this could be past romantic connections that have ended, but it's kind of like staying friends with them, even though maybe they've moved on or they have other people in their life, right? It's kind of like, okay, but I still want to stay friends. Asking yourself, what was that about, right? Allowing yourself to say, okay, am I friending people in my life, right? Keeping them in the friend zone so that I don't have to lose any of my independence. Once again, this energy of just superficial, being friendly, perhaps going out with people, but not creating this deeper, okay, connection. Because the deeper connection takes time, it takes energy, it takes vulnerability, it takes honesty. Asking yourself, with the connections that you have in your life at this time, what is the thing that holds you together? Is that an illusion, right? If what's holding you together has anything to do with kind of feeling like, I get a sense of connection. Maybe it's about gossiping about other people, right? I can relate to that. It's kind of like the energy of what is the glue? That's it. What is the glue in the relationships that you have now? And asking yourself, is that how I want to move forward? Is that healthy for the connections that I would like to have in the future? I feel like we're all kind of like going through this. Capricorn, this is an energy of understanding, judging, truly judging, being very, here you are, Queen of Pentacles, right? Taking good care of yourself, your finances, your health. But it's about allowing yourself to say, The thing that I'm missing, the Queen of Pentacles, even though she is nurturing, it is the energy of not having a deep connection, a sense of fun. It's kind of like almost a sense of duty. Asking yourself, are you only showing up in your relationships enough to keep a relationship alive? Or are you truly expressing who you are in this relationship, taking it from the friend zone? This could be a specific person, right? Taking it from the friend zone to the lover's energy, right? That is amazing. But it does have this energy of allowing yourself to really have the courage to ask yourself, how are you, a little bit of energy around judgment. How are you judging others? How are you judging yourself? As far as, okay, is this relationship balanced? Am I wanting my independence so much that I'm not willing to be flexible with other people? Yeah, this is really kind of interesting. I can totally resonate with this because for June, you're understanding the treasure that is in deeper connections. You're understanding, wait a minute, I'm missing out on a part of my life if all I'm doing is focusing on my finances, right? Or keeping in contact with people just on the superficial level, so that somewhere down the line, there's this energy of somewhere down the line, I can have a deeper connection with them. This is the energy, but it's kind of like, I don't have time for that. I would like to have a deeper connection with this person or this group or whatever, but I don't have time for that now. So I'll wait until I have time. This is a little bit of understanding. No, this is the time. It's time to allow yourself to take, it's about speaking the truth. Yeah, I mean, your energy is showing up, but it's about speaking the truth about what mindsets have prevented you, okay, from allowing yourself to have the courage to have deeper relationships. I feel like there's something about money here. Either staying in relationships because there is some type of financial connection there, right? Somebody that maybe you keep in your life because you feel like, well, if I hit on hard times, that person would be there for me. Or it could be, kind of like worried about money in the future. And so kind of like allowing yourself to stay in relationships where you feel like, okay, that person will be there for me for one reason or another. This could be family members, right? But also understanding how has that played out in your previous relationships, right? Understanding that when we have some type of superficial reason to keep people in our life, and yet at the same time arm's length away, then we don't have the true deep connection. This takes courage. This takes vulnerability. And that is what I think you are allowing yourself to say, yes, I want to manifest, but I don't want it to have, I want to manifest love without strings attached, but it is also allowing yourself to take a look at any strings that you have attached to love relationships. Wow. I mean, this is, we are on that cusp of Pisces and Aries, right? This new moon in Aries is helping us, this solar eclipse, to blow away, okay, all of the stories that we tell ourselves about other people, but it's kind of like allowing us to have the spotlight also on us. You could have people in your life that you feel like, well, they only want me in their life for superficial reasons, right? You have something to offer to them, right? And maybe it's finances because Capricorn, you are so good with your money, right? So maybe it's finances or this sense of you're their plan B. There's a little bit of this energy of, no, I don't want a plan B. Because when we allow ourselves to just keep plan Bs juggling, I feel like you're juggling relationships, but you're just kind of like, okay, I want these people in my life so that they're my plan B, but I feel like it could be during this time you're having another relationship in your life, right? That maybe has been disappointing. You're understanding, oh my goodness, I'm their plan B. This doesn't feel good, right? You may have recognized that a previous relationship that was difficult, you were their plan B. You weren't their number one, right? Because we had the Three of Cups. They were keeping you at arm's length while they also had somebody else in their life. And that somebody else can be another person, but it can be an addiction, it can be work, it can be whatever. It's kind of like, okay, I've been in this triangulation. This is triangulation. That energy is like so prominent right now in all the readings. Where is there triangulation in your life, and allowing yourself to say no? Because when we allow ourselves to be in that triangulation, guess what? That's where the toxicity comes in. That's where the gossip comes in, right? That's where the game playing, there's this energy of game playing. I think what you're saying is, no, I don't want any relationships that have to do with game playing. I don't want any strings attached. I want it to be honest and open. I want people to recognize the people that I have relationships with. I want them to recognize the treasure I am, but I also want to see the true treasure in them and not what they can somehow provide. I feel like this comes back from childhood, right? There could be a little bit of this energy of allowing yourself to see how from childhood there was a there's almost an energy of transactional transactions in relationships, right? Now, I'll do this for you, you do this for me. But that is surface level, right? That's understanding, oh, wait a minute, that's not the deep dive. That's not really a love relationship. It takes so much courage to really allow ourselves to go deep and have these relationships that are honest and open and vulnerable, right? Yeah, it's a beautiful energy. I think you're transitioning over the spring. I wouldn't be surprised if you're walking away. You have a lot of energy of walking away from relationships where you're understanding the strings that are connecting, right? You and perhaps two other people, kind of like understanding where is this triangulation, or how am I participating in relationships that have strings attached? Wow, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so Capricorn, let's pull a soul truth card for you for some final advice. And I do personal readings, so if you're interested, the link is in the description box below. I'd really be honored to do a reading for you. Yeah, what boundaries need to be created or strengthened in my relationships? Yes, because that is what helps us. Good, healthy boundaries, not walls. Okay, this is walls. What you're understanding is the difference between putting up walls between ourselves and others, and also and the difference between walls and healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries allows you to participate in relationships without overgiving, right? Or expecting too much from the other person. It's kind of like allowing ourselves to have knowledge of where our energy ends and where their energy begins, right? Where they're, not taking on other people's problems, right? And not expecting other people to take on your problems. It's nice to help each other, right? Don't get me wrong, but there is, when we have that expectation, you're going to take care of me and I'm going to take care of you, but there's strings attached to it. That is the toxic energy that you maybe have kind of like grown up with, like blood is thicker than water, that type of thing. But understanding you don't have to stay in relationships where you have that toxic energy. Instead, allowing yourself to say, I want deep connections, But in order to have those deep connections, we have to have also boundaries. To create more healthy boundaries, we must first get in tune with our own needs, desires, and feelings and believe we are worthy of them. In your relationships, it's essential to know where they end and where you begin. Yeah, that's such an important lesson. I feel like you've been working on that, Capricorn, for perhaps the last 8 to 11 years, right? But this is like you allowing yourself to graduate from that lesson, to see it clearly where you have perhaps not had clear, healthy boundaries, where those boundaries were either walls or you participated in relationships where people were able to walk all over you. Yeah, really beautiful. Think about romantic, family, friend, and work relationships when you're kind of trying to see the pattern, because I feel like over the next 3 months, you're really seeing the pattern. It's probably going to happen this week or within the next couple of weeks that you're actually seeing that pattern, because we have this Aries energy, which is just kind of like blowing the facades off of relationships and situations in our life, allowing yourself to see it and to have the courage to look it right in the eye and say, how have I participated in this? Right? Allowing yourself to see the shadow side of ourselves during these next 3 months helps us to move into such beautiful energy. And you have the Lover's energy. I think you're learning how to really and truly value and love yourself and value and love others, not for what they can provide for you, okay, but for their heart-to-heart connection, seeing the value in the person, not the value of what they can provide. Yes, beautiful energy. I'm actually going to go and sit with that myself for a little bit. All right. I really do appreciate all of your support by liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I hope to see you again really soon. Bye for now.